Hi, I know I've gone on a lot about the practice of deconstruction this week, but the truth is that most people aren't really ready for reality. They're not ready for practice. They're not ready for deconstruction. And here's why. You don't struggle because life is difficult. You struggle because life is not what you were told it would be. Somewhere early on, a quiet promise was installed in you. If you lived correctly, tried hard enough, healed properly, chose wisely, then life would eventually make sense. The effort would pay off. The suffering would resolve. There would be an answer. That belief has been running you ever since. Spinoza would call it an inadequate idea, not because it's stupid, but because it feels necessary. You don't hold it because it's true. You hold it because without it, the nervous system doesn't know how to settle. It has to have something to constantly stimulate it. Psychology now confirms this. Meaning is not a philosophical luxury. It is a regulatory mechanism. Roy Baumeister showed that humans require narrative coherence to tolerate anxiety. When meaning collapses, distress spikes immediately. So you don't cling to stories because you're sentimental. You cling to them because without them, the system destabilizes. You fall apart. This is why most people are not ready for reality. They're not ready for negative philosophy. They're not ready, certainly, to practice negative philosophy. Not because reality is cruel, but because reality does not come with a story. And we need the stories. You've lived your entire life inside one. How and why would you abandon it? I hear this the moment someone says, I just want to understand why this is happening. What they usually mean is, I need a story that makes this bearable. Spinoza dismantled this with brutal calm. He said, we believe ourselves free because we are conscious of our actions and ignorant of their causes. I know I keep going on about this. This is part 3, proposition 2, and the scholium, but it's very important. You experience choice. You experience intention. You do not experience the machinery underneath. Neuroscience fills in the gaps. Studies by Nisbet and Wilson show that people routinely fabricate explanations for their behaviour after the fact and genuinely believe them. Michael Gazzaniga later called this the brain's interpreter function. Your mind narrates coherence whether it exists or not. This is why people get caught out with lies and they're convinced it's the truth. Because to them it is the truth. They've made it up, they've fabricated it, but to them it's real. That narrator feels like you. It isn't you. And here's the rub. The more intelligent you are, the better storyteller you are, and the better the narrator becomes. This is where thoughtful people get trapped. Intelligence does not free you from illusion. It refines it. You don't dismantle the story, you upgrade it. You turn insight into insulation. Spinoza saw this too. Knowing about causes is not the same as being released from them. Partial understanding often strengthens attachment because it gives the imagination something plausible to lean on. This is why collapse hits articulate people the hardest. They have built far more elaborate buffers. When those buffers fail, reality does not arrive as truth. It arrives as loss. They've built such a vast structure upon it that when it comes tumbling down, it's a further distance to fall. Neuroscience calls this the reduced default mode network activity, the quieting of the system responsible for self-narration. You experience it as emptiness, flatness, disorientation, a strange absence of urgency. People panic here. They say, I've lost my motivation, or I don't recognise myself, or something is wrong.